Good evening. More than 500 allegations of abuse have been made against care workers visiting elderly and disabled people in their West Midlands homes. The BBC investigation also reveals dozens of convicted criminals have been working as carers.
Tonight, there are calls for an overhaul of the system to ensure vulnerable people are safe when they open their front doors. A secret camera records a care worker who's supposed to be looking after a severely disabled man. Instead, she's trying to steal from a safe in his wardrobe. She had a previous conviction for theft.
Michelle let us down, let her profession down as well, because I did give her a second chance, and she manipulated us all, and it breaks your heart then when you actually see and know there's things going on in your family's home that you're not happy with.
And it seems it's a common problem. A Freedom of Information request revealed that last year there were almost 1,000 allegations of abuse made against home care staff in the Midlands. Many described neglect, thefts and errors handing out medication, some leading to hospital admissions. Now, not all could be substantiated, but among those that were, a carer who knocked a man down to the ground and another put a plastic bag over a care user's head. So are carers being properly vetted? Well, last year, the industry regulator, the Care Quality Commission, found they weren't at this company in Barr in Birmingham. 23 care workers had criminal records for offences including theft and assault. It also appeared that other carers hadn't had their records checked at all. And when the inspectors returned 6 months later, convicted criminals were still working unsupervised in the homes of some of the city's most vulnerable people. The company blames a previous member of staff for its problems and says it's made significant changes. But it's not an isolated case. Inspectors found more than 200 home care providers in England have been employing carers without proper qualifications. One carer had 7 previous convictions.
That is deeply disturbing, and the organisation concerned obviously needs to be held to account by the Care Quality Commission. I don't think you can say that because something happens that is unacceptable that the whole system has failed.
The Care Quality Commission says it plans to inspect all home care providers by next April.
One of the cases featured on the BBC Inside Out West Midlands programme tonight is that of Dorothy Taylor. The 87-year-old was found by her son Peter on the floor of her Birmingham home after a fall. A week later, she died in hospital.
Well, a coroner was told that while Dorothy could not have been saved by carers, the company employed to look after her had failed to send staff for 2 days before she was found. Well, Dorothy's son Peter joins us now. Thanks very much for your time this evening, Peter. During the time when we were filming for tonight's Inside Out, you told me more than once that you felt guilty about your mother's death. Do you still feel the same way?
Probably more now.
Why?
Because I now know how bad it is out there with the care providers. They're not all good carers. There are some good carers there, but how do you know which are the good ones, which are the bad ones? I don't know.
And after everything you've heard about these allegations, over 500 allegations of abuse against care workers, do you have any faith in the system?
No, not at all. What's happened now with the 2 reports with statements we've had from CQC and Birmingham City Council, they're just playing up one off against each other. They haven't got they won't stand up and be counted. A lot of them, they're just saying, well, CQC are okay with it. CQC are saying, well, Birmingham are okay with it. And we know there's the problem there, but...
So you feel as though you're caught in a bit of a maze, really. You mentioned CQC, that's the Care Quality Commission. Yeah. Well, both the Care Quality Commission and Birmingham City Council told us that they launched a joint investigation following your mother's death, and they carried out a series of inspections as well, didn't they? In January, they found that the company who was looking after your mother still wasn't doing these Criminal Record Bureau checks, but they were satisfied it made improvements. Are you satisfied with that?
No, because even when they do the CRB checks, what happens? Nothing happens. Somebody's got a criminal record, doesn't matter, they're still a carer. So why have a CRB check? If you're going to do a CRB check, then they should treat elderly people the same as they treat children. They deserve the same protection, but they're not having it, are they?
Peter, what advice would you give to people who were in a similar situation as you were, that really needed help with very basic things for your mum, you know, just day-to-day
If you can't do
care?
it in the family, because I think that's what I'd do next, is try and do it with the family to do it. If you can't, then go to CQC website, look through reports, look for a good care provider. Then once you've picked a good one out, do some checks on that care provider yourself to make sure it's the right one. Don't just go by what the council say.
Right, so it's about doing research.
Yeah.
OK. Peter, thanks very much indeed for your time.
Thank you.
You can see the full investigation on Inside Out. That's tonight, BBC1 at 7:30.
Coming up later in the programme, on the day that